Now, shall I get round to this?
Yeah, please. I've been waiting for this.
Best letter, I think, certainly for a very, very long time. Best letter we've received. Comes from Ben in Hackney. Now, the first part of it's great, and it's also such a beautiful letter. His handwriting is absolutely exquisite. He writes in pencil and almost in perfect miniature.
See, I immediately trust people who have nice handwriting.
Miniature italics. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. No corrections. Absolutely gorgeous. And he goes on for a page and a half of something that's very good anyway. But this is particularly for you, Amy. He says, it's from Ben in Hackney. Let me change the music. Hang on 1 minute. Here we go. Good morning, everyone. On another topic, I wonder if you have noticed that if you collage pictures of human lips onto pictures of cats, they do look rather like celebrities. Please find enclosed a few examples. Ladies and gentlemen, Joanna Lumley and Jack Nicholson. Ladies and gentlemen, Britt Eklund, Robbie Williams and Joan Crawford. Britt Eklund, Robbie Williams and Joan Crawford. Ladies and gentlemen, Barbara Streisand and Dame Judi Dench.
Oh my goodness.
Ladies and gentlemen, Isabella Rossellini, Marilyn Manson and Eddie Large. This is the greatest letter we have ever received. Now, you're going to have to believe it is breathtakingly brilliant, isn't it? He has included collages of photos of cats with human lips on them, and they are immediately transformed into Isabella Rossellini and Eddie Large. Of course they're going to be on the website. Mark, are we dealing here with some kind of genius?
I think we are. I think we may be, because the thing is, you can actually take the names off and guess who they are.
Look
without
at Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson is extraordinary, isn't it?
No, Marilyn Manson is the best.
Well, legend.
Joan Crawford I recognised immediately.
I'm sorry if it is not a very inclusive piece of radio. But one of your number, one of the Treehouse every morning, has taken it upon himself to write us a beautiful, beautiful letter. And almost as a tailpiece, puns intended, he puts a series, and he's put these up like oil paintings at the end. These wonderful realizations of cats with human lips that then take...
Well, all I have to say is, Ben, this is the most brilliant idea, and I hope that he's sending some of them to himself
so
through the post, so
when
he
this
can
book
prove.
comes out. They'll be on the website if Ben's good enough to let us put them up there. Hopefully,
well, I want to keep it and frame it and hang it up in my house. They're gorgeous.
They're absolutely gorgeous. They are cats with human lips that take on the appearance of celebrities, minor and major. So, so what are you bringing us with this story? We've heard this, and what is it doing to the market?
Well, I think what the potterers want the government to do is to set up this crack team to have a look at where these cheap potteries are sort of coming from China. Yeah.
Are you wanting me to react to crack team? Pottery, that sort of thing? Was that the best you could do? I know you're doing your best, but is that the best you can do?
I thought it was quite good.
Yeah, but the shoehorning, the bludgeoning, the sledgehammering of the phrase crack team into this story, all of a sudden, sore thumbs didn't come into it.
I thought it was pretty good.
You know, the tragic thing is,
he does.
He really did. I can imagine him sitting at home last night.
I've used the word crack.
In the double bed. Mrs. Crowe has her back to him, and he goes, Veronica, I'm sleeping. No, I'm just listen to this. I'm writing a story about pottery, and I want to listen to this. So bear in mind it's about pottery. Yes. And they're sending in a crack team to investigate this. Have you finished? Well, that's crack team pottery, you see. Yes. Back with the eye mask on. Goes to sleep. Did you run that by? I did, yes. Did you? Was it weighed and judged to be good by Mrs. K?
She said it was awful.
She awful?
Right.
But I said I'm putting it in anyway. Yeah.
Well, I agree, dear. It's not private live, but I think it's damn good for local radio, don't you? Yes, I'm blue. You found that to be good, didn't you?
I thought it was pretty good, yeah.
Give it another reading.
Okay. Yeah, the British pottery makers are asking the government to set up a crack team to look at the importation of cheap potteries from China.
That's not so bad. Let's have an epic reading of it. Hang on, let's have an epic reading of it. Here we go.
The British Ceramic, the British Ceramic Confederation is asking the government to set up a crack team to look at the cheap importations of potteries from China.
Can I go to sleep now?
You can go to sleep if you want.
On 94.9 FM, this is BBC London.
So, earlier on I was talking about I shouldn't really drag things from my own private hell, but a little cappuccino slopped over the top of the cup onto the carpet in the car. And now, inside my car, I'm afraid every time I open the door, it's just the worst thing in the world. What have you got for us on that pony?
I was going on a fishing trip, Dan, and it's quite well known in carp circles that hemp seed, you boil up the hemp seed and it splits open. There's a little white kernel inside it, and the fish absolutely love it. They go mad over it.
Do you make boilies out of them?
No, you don't make boilies out of that, Dan. Boilies is a completely different bait.
Yeah, I wonder if you put that at the centre of the boilie, whether it intrigued the fish.
yeah, so I suppose it's possible, but not to my knowledge. So I don't think that's been done.
Yeah, okay. But,
anyway, getting back to my story, Dan.
Yeah. I just that's one of the few things I know about fishing there, Pony, are boilies. So there you are, Pony. You're boily-less, but you have your hemp seed.
I went out and bought. I went to an Indian shop, got one of the big aluminium saucepans that they do for their curry. I wanted to boil up about 8 pounds of it for a long session.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So what you do is you simmer it for about 20 minutes. Just boil it nicely for about 20 minutes, and it cracks open. It takes some doing, but with that amount. But eventually, it works. Anyway, I put it on. It's nicely boiling away, and I went out to the car to get a cassette. Started rooting about in the car, sort of forgot all about the pan on the cooker. And the phone's gone, my mobile phone's gone, and my mate rang. He said they're selling some boots up the road in Edgware. some really good price.
So where you went?
Yeah, of course, I'm in the car. I'll go now. Drove to Edgware, walking around the shop with the hands behind me back. Yeah, they're lovely. Yeah, anyway, I ended up buying a pair of boots. About an hour later, I've driven back to my house. As I turned the corner, I thought, blimey, this sounds like someone's just had a joint round here. I could smell it. I live up the top of the road and I could smell it at the bottom.
Wow.
I pulled up outside the house and the smoke that was coming out the window, it was unbelievable. Anyway, I rushed up the path, opened the back door, got the pot, threw it out the back, and the smell was just horrendous.
Could you actually, forgive me here, but could you actually have got stoned on it?
Listen, I'm going to tell you, Dan, I'll tell you what happened. I've run round upstairs, I've opened all the windows upstairs, I've run down, and it was just everywhere. I mean, it was, like a thick fog. I've gone downstairs, I'm opening the windows, then I've realised I've gone back upstairs and started shutting the windows. I've gone there, started bumping into doors, wardrobes, and off the walls. Gone back downstairs, and I found myself saying to myself, I don't know what you're laughing at, you could have burned the house down.
You were giggling, were you, by now?
I've gone out the back, I've got a big wooden bench out back, I'm sitting in the garden, looking at the smoke pouring out the house, laughing my ass off.
No, Pony, where were you living at the time?
In Harrow.
Oh, well, it is Pony, the man who stoned Harrow. Given half a chance, if you boil up marijuana, it will smell. Apparently, that is a fantastic story, Pony. Thank you. Where you go, Monica? Here is Lawrence in Barnet with a Category 4. Good morning, Lawrence.
Morning, Candyman.
Thank you very much indeed, Lawrence. Oh, no, that's the bus. That's oh, you get 50 pence for that. That's another one. That's £1. So, Lawrence, what have you got for us, my friend?
I've got a brother's story.
Go on, brothers.
Kind of brother's story. My brother and me used to share a room. He was about 4 years older. And our beds used to be end-to-end, so we were foot to foot.
Okay.
And we had names for our feet. His were...
Hang on. Let me think about that a little bit. Hang on. Okay. Yeah, go on.
Well, his were Elmer and Jacob. And mine was Elmer and Jacob. It's a normal name for feet. There's a lot of feet called Elmer and Jacob.
Elmer and Jacob. Good names, yeah. And yours were?
Mine was Sydney and Gilbert.
Okay, Elmer.
I think his were more like Mormon feet or something. Southern feet.
And yours was Sydney and what?
Sydney and Gilbert. Mine were Jewish feet. His were Mormon.
Sydney and Gilbert.
Yeah.
So what? Did they used to sort of shake feet or something?
No, now you're being silly. What they used to do was he'd come in, say, because he was about 4 years older than me, he still is, and he would wake me up at 3 in the morning and say Sydney and Gilbert want to play. And it was nothing sordid, and then he'd start attacking me with his feet. And if I did the same thing, if ever I decided to do that, I'd really get kind of volleyed off. What are you doing? I'm sleeping.
But who generally would win in a fight out of Elmer and Jacob and Sydney and Gilbert?
He would normally win because he was quite a bit older than me.
Oh, I see, yeah.
And I was saying there's quite a nice little spin-off because I had a friend of mine called Barry Gilbert, and he said, I hear your feet are called Sydney and Gilbert. And I said, yeah. He said, do you know my dad's Sydney Gilbert?
Oh, is he did you share the name with his dad?
Our feet and him. So I met him one day and I said, I think we got something in common. A name. And he said, is your name Sydney? I said, no, but my feet are Sydney and Gilbert. And he walked away.
I don't believe there is another listener who has ever named their feet. I don't believe... now we're going to get the phone.
Do you know what?
What?
I know who's won this big sack of goodies already.
I think already,
I mean,
yes.
There is no better than Lawrence.
That is Lawrence. That is just absolutely... it's an extraordinary story, and one where, when he said... that I like the idea that he's already given the religions as well, the Mormon feet, the Jewish feet. Elmer and Jacob and Sydney and Gilbert.
Elmer and Jacob want to play.
And sadly, yeah, I know. That is very sinister, actually, isn't it? But they've already gone their separate ways, apparently, which is a shame. But what a great... Who knew that the Category brothers would lead us there? That dear friend Lawrence, who has his feet called Elmer and Jacob and Sydney and Gilbert. Who knew?
It's tremendous. Naming parts of your body is an extraordinary thing to do.
Oh, believe me, I don't think we're alone in that. So there's Category 9, names for parts of bodies. This is baby's first words of that. Here we go. This morning we've been hearing It's Not Always Mama and Dada. Gorbachev, condensation, honk, co-op. How about this? This is from Ian in Dartford. I have a friend whose baby didn't speak. The speech therapists and doctors said, no, the baby's not done, the vocal cords were operational, and he would speak when he wanted to. This is a fear of a lot of parents. They say, well, he's not talking yet. But anyway, he came from a large family and probably couldn't get a word in edgeways, was another suggestion. He hadn't spoken until he went to school at 5. On the first day, all the children were shown their coat pegs in the hall outside the classroom. My mate Eddie put his coat on the first clothes peg and turned around to go into the classroom when his coat fell off the hook to the floor. The teacher pointed this out to him and asked him to pick it up and put it back on the hook. He picked it up and put it back on the hook, and it fell on the floor again. The teacher asked him to do it again, and then he spoke for the first time in his life. You do it, he said, and then he walked into class. You do it. That's his first words. You do it. And just walked into the class. That's a lovely story. That's a terrific one. We'll stay away from all that heated debate. This is where we live.
Well, bring on those pictures of animals and funny costumes.
I'm going to soothe with this music for a while. It's Wednesday. It's a long way to go in the week, yes. A little of this. If you're sitting on a train at the moment, staring out the window idly, look at everyone around you. They're all reading front pages of broadsheets. They're all worried about intellectual debate. You've got this going on.
There's a lot of people walking around with their hands behind their backs.
Yeah, you've got this going on.
It was a warm, sunny morning.
Inside the mind of our
In a
audience.
small house at the other side of the wood, Mr. Tickle was asleep.
That's what we've got going. I mean, I know there are bigger fish to fry, and there's all sorts of contretemps going on and all that. And I know Eddie's banging the drum, as John will be when he takes over from here. But I like to think this is where we are.
You didn't know that there was such a thing as a tickle, did you?
What you got?
I've got a competition for you.
I'll give you intellectual debate.
Yeah.
Carry on.
We have.
All right, here we go. I'm going to have to ask Gollum to read the word. The theme tune of the show is the Candyman, and believe me, Charlie Watts was good enough to give it all of this, and everyone does. So, in any way you want to bring, those would be the words, and I'll take this out of the background. So, if you just any way you want to read.
Can I have the music to back it?
Do you know the music of the Candyman?
Roughly.
Okay, all right, ladies and gentlemen.
Give it a blast.
I'll have to apologise to the news department here, but Andy's good enough to do this for us. I'll find the Candyman. Here we go.
Can he read rather than sing?
Nah. You can read it, you can do anything you want with it.
Okay,
I'll cue you in.
Do Spiel song.
I'll do Are you the voice inside the little toy I saw yesterday? Good for you. Nice sounds, my friend.
Oh, no.
A piece of that. Okay, here we go. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I believe a radio first from the marginally successful film The Lord of the Rings.
can take a sunrise, sprinkle it with dew, cover it in chocolate, and a miracle or two. Oh yes, the Candyman. The Candyman can. The Candyman can. Yes, the Candyman can, precious. No, he can't. Yes, he can.
Ladies and gentlemen, Andy Serkis, good enough to do that for us. That was something. I couldn't look at you in the eye as you did that, my friend. The book is, and believe me, the book is not all nonsense and not all. It is a genuine work, if you don't mind me damning it with that faint praise. Andy Serkis is How We Made the Movie Magic Gollum. Get out there and do it for a fella good enough to do that for us. Andy, all the best with everything you do, my friend. And, I'd say, all the best of success, but men's top of the tree. Thank you, Sonny. Thank you, everyone. Where you go?
On 94.9 FM, this is BBC London.
Good morning, David.
Good morning, Candyman.
Oh, you were so close to rocketing back up. It's because the pressure's on you this morning, isn't it? Because you've heard these stories of shrunken heads, lugers, leeches. We're in the jungle this morning. If you've just joined us, it's you heard the little trailer a moment ago saying London's radio station. Well, it is. But we can, we do hijack it sometimes for places far away from this teeming metropolis. And today we're in the jungle, Amazonia, with ancient wisdoms, and we're doing all stories about secret ceremonies and secret places underground.
I think very often you'll find that these stories have a very sort of innocent background, and you just seem to think they're very odd and peculiar, but it isn't.
No, hang on. Let's not downgrade. We just heard from Jules Wilson, who does our church. She came in and told this story here about going through the jungle, fighting off leeches, and in a remote spot comes across a house on stilts that is full of skulls with a hole drilled in the back. And you're saying it was probably some kind of Pol Pot themed bar when the staff were away. Is that what do you mean innocent?
Because, anybody that buys a house that belonged to me, if they looked in the garden, they would find, some very strange things in the garden.
Go on.
But
what do we do, for example?
For example, there would be little burial grounds with toenails in them, yeah?
Ladies and gentlemen. Amy, don't. Give me that barge pole back so you don't have to touch that line with them. Dare we, Amy? Well, dare we? Yeah. I know we've all got our pith helmets on today, and we are looking for the peculiar, and we've invited the bizarre. But dare we?
You have to investigate. It's there.
The time is Tony in New Zealand.
It's the spirit of Lord Carnarvon.
Go on then.
It's completely innocent because the Chinese believe that.
What don't the Chinese believe? Can I sell the Chinese Tower Bridge later on today? If we can get through one of these sessions without saying, David, why have you come in today wearing nothing but a jockstrap and a feather in your anus? And he says, because the Chinese believe. Go on. Yeah, the Chinese believe what?
The Chinese believe that.
The Chinese believe they can tell you anything. That's what they believe.
The Chinese believe that all Western people will believe anything.
No, they believe David Quo will believe anything.
No.
Go on then.
No. The Chinese seriously believe that when you cut your toenails, you have to hide those toenails because otherwise the toenail gods will come and sort of take them away, right? So, first of all, you have to cut your toenails in the daylight and not at night because that is when the toenail gods come out. So what you do after you've cut your toenails is to hide them somewhere. And
all of them forever?
there is a staff room in a Singaporean school that right now has two very old teachers going thinking, do you remember that Quo boy?
Yeah, I remember exactly.
No, we told him about the toenail
all of your
guts.
Toenails all the time?
What was that again?
Now we know what that big thing at the Elephant and Castle is. You know your part. What is that? It's full of David's toenails.
It's a mausoleum.
How could we possibly take anything seriously from a man who holds? Is it just toenails?
Well, it is predominantly toenails.
How about the kind of flaky thing from behind the ear? What happens to that? What do the gods think about that stuff?
I don't think there's a god
that's... No. Dandruff?
It's just predominantly toenails. And you have to make sure that you hide those toenails very carefully because otherwise the toenail gods will come out and say...
Do you have a special toenail receptacle?
What about Adam here? He's thinking, hold on, how much salt do I take his answer with about credit cards there?
But these are two completely different issues. I mean, for instance, you believe in...
No, they're not.
No.
Not when they come from the same mouth, they're not.
No, I mean, you believe in Father Christmas?
Yes.
Yeah, well, there you go, you see. I mean, that doesn't make you any less a presenter or any less a financial expert, does it?
Yeah, but if I go in to see a doctor, if I have this abscess in my neck, doctor, and it's really hurting, and he just says, I won't be a minute, I'm just catching my breath, literally, with a little net, and he's running around the room trying to catch his breath, and then he goes to a little blue bottle, and he puts his breath in it and puts the stopper, and he goes, now, how can I help you? Your confidence is gone. So there's nothing to do with Father Christmas. We would have Father Christmas in common. So
I bought from Martin's, but just have to know, what will the toenail gods do with the toenails? Why? Just quickly, why do they want them?
Well, they were own part of you. That is why you have to hide them. That is why you have
makes
to...
sense. So you didn't know Amy LeMay. Why didn't you introduce us to the... we didn't know Zoe Balls or anything. We don't know any other studio guests. Tell us, it's the meeting that... we've had flurries of emails over the last few weeks saying, now, is this going to happen or not? Tell us who's sitting at...
Well, I'd like to introduce you to my dad, Jack.
Good morning, Jack.
Good morning.
Okay.
And my mother, Nikki.
There you go, Nikki and Jack. And you've been all around Europe over here. How long have you been over here now? If it's Jack, how long have you been?
About 10 days.
About 10. And how's it been? Was it worth...
Oh, lovely.
Really?
Lovely.
Your first trip to Europe?
No.
Oh, it isn't? Oh, I'm not talking about Anzio here. I'm saying you actually you've been over here as a tourist before, yeah?
As a tourist, and I also lived.
Did you live here for a bit?
In Deutschland.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay. So there it is. And what would that be?
For a couple of years.
But would that be you were a GI over there?
I was a GI, and then I got discharged over there.
And you hung around?
And I hung around.
Where were you in Germany?
Frankfurt.
And that surprises me, you see. I wouldn't think of going to Frankfurt. A pretty good place, is it?
Oh, I love it.
Okay. You've only been here...
I did love it.
It's surprising me, Amy LeMay.
Yeah.
No, forgive me for calling your daughter Amy LeMay. I know it doesn't sound...
that's quite right.
It's a tangled web. We don't want to go into it. Nikki, how's it been? What have you seen? What have you done while you're in London? Try that microphone. This one, it doesn't seem to be happening. Oh, no, that's something else altogether. Yeah, try that.
You mean this time or
this time? What have you been doing in these last 10 days? How's she been treating you? What have you seen? What have you been doing?
Oh, Amy?
Yeah.
Amy's always wonderful to us.
Yeah. From a distance. That's why she moved 3,000 miles away. Is that it? Is that it?
No doubt in my mind.
Everyone's nice to their parents when they see them 2 weeks every 7 or 8 years.
You know, I never thought of that.
It's a run. She talks about you constantly, and we've had listeners saying, are Amy's parents really over? Because I
hope it's all good.
All good, nothing bad. All good and nothing bad. Because it turns out that my parents and you two may have quite a lot in common in terms of, yes, separated by the Atlantic, but we seem to have quite similar upbringings in that. And your plumbing company, man, you should open one in London, Jack, because
I noticed in a paper the other day they have franchises available.
Well, I'm telling you, it's big business over here, and certainly the publicity the Amy's giving you. So where have you been, Nikki? What have you been doing?
This time?
This time.
Oh, the most wonderful thing. We went to see The Lion King the day after we got in, and that was spectacular.
Yeah, so Amy says she tries to be too highfalutin for shows like that usually, and knocks her socks off.
Well, I chose to see that. We live about 50 minutes away from New York City.
Yeah, exactly. It's always the way, isn't it?
It's been on Broadway for years and years and years, but I had to come to London to see it properly.
Well, that's a good thing, because otherwise Amy wouldn't have gone either.
We've been to the Tower of London, and we've been to the Churchill Museum.
That was a big hit, wasn't it? I understand that was a big hit, the Churchill Museum.
That was wonderful. We went to St. Paul's.
My kind of guy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That wasn't Mark saying that. That was Jack.
I must say that they had many pictures of Winston, and I did buy one, and the one I bought was with him with a Tommy gun.
Yeah, I've seen that photograph.
I've seen that photograph.
Yeah,
my kind of guy.
Now, Amy said don't mention anything like that. That's why I put on generic music.
That was just Winston.
With the big Tommy gun. I've seen that photograph.
Since we're on that subject, before, didn't you say that send all your bills in?
Yeah, I said yeah.
Well, I brought them with me. I'm here to collect.
The BBC will be... I hoped I'd never hear you say that phrase to me, Jack. In that particular... I've broken out in a sweat now. I had nightmares that your father, Amy, would come over and say to me, I'm here to collect. and I wouldn't know what he was talking about. So you're going home tomorrow. That's a shame. Isn't it?
Unfortunately,
That is
we
a
are
shame.
going home tomorrow.
Yeah, well, you know, and you not visit Amy's club. She runs a little club over there.
Oh, I've been to Ducky many times.
Have you really?
Oh, absolutely.
And it's a lot of fun. I've never been down to Ducky.
Oh, it's a happening place.
It's wild, huh?
Yes, my kind of place.
So have you, either of you said, listen, sweetheart, you've proved your point. Why don't you come on home now? Why don't you come back? Come back to America. Have you said that?
No, she loves it so much here. I just wanted my kids to be happy. All of them, wherever it takes them, whatever they want to do. But she
could have been the line dancing queen of Britain, but she was too nervous, she said, because you two were over, and she blew her chance on
But Dad
TV.
did try and get me to go back to New Jersey. He said, Aim, come back. I'll give you the Porta-John business.
Yeah, don't knock it.
well, that isn't an incentive, Amy. I don't know what it
Exactly.
is.
We'll put you, knock it. We'll put you through college and everything else. That'll be that. How is the business there? And I'm serious here, Jack. How's it doing over there?
Business is very good. Very good. We not only do plumbing, but we do excavation and trucking.
I'll bet.
And many different things.
Okay, but is it right for you? One word from you, and every washer on the eastern seaboard doesn't get delivered.
Stops.
It stops. The washer king of New Jersey, so I understand. But do you still get your hands dirty yourself? Do you actually plumb indoors?
Oh yeah, well.
Nicky, does he do any business? You know, do they say?
Yes. Would you like to wash his clothes?
But you still go out there in the field. You're not just an office guy, yeah?
Yes, I do. I go out and I manage the men.
Yeah. Well, these sweatshirts, which I can't wait to get my hands on.
These are.
Would tell us what they are over there. What are these? They're beautiful sweatshirts.
It's unfortunate, but if you were to call the 800 number any place in the United States that goes for Hawaii and Puerto Rico, we have an 800 number,
and you can
get us just like that. But
sure
in
you
London,
can.
it's.
Nobody ever rings your business up and says, I've been waiting like 3 days. The guy said he'd be. You never get that. You're right there, right? Probably in America, you probably are as well.
So we
Describe these for us, eh?
Yeah, so these are official Apollo Sewer and Plumbing Incorporated sweatshirts that we brought for the whole gang here.
No, go with my
gang.
calendar, which I have your calendar up in my kitchen
Yes, you do.
wall,
You have
and
the
it's a
calendar.
magnificent
Yeah,
thing.
you do. You got to open here, Jack, because this is
I'm
big
going to have
business.
to come over here.
You bet.
Definitely.
Is there anything
We
you
can set
don't
up
get?
the London branch.
Is there anything you don't get? And I'm not asking you to badmouth the old country here, but is there anything you don't get in your trip here? You're thinking, what's that all about? Or is there anything you miss? What?
Yeah, I really did miss one thing. I really want to buy a new Rolls.
Oh, yeah.
I'm serious.
You're in the right place.
Yeah, no, I'm really serious. I really want to buy one, and I really want to go to the Rolls dealer while
That's
I'm here.
down in Berkeley Square.
Yeah,
then.
that's my next move.
You're kidding, yeah?
No, yes, that's true.
Well, there it is. I mean, you can ship to them in the trunk economy. There you go. That's for one deal. But I know what you're going to say. No, easy.
You have to look on the webcam for that one.
And yourself, Nicky, anything
Just
you don't
think of the rate exchange, though, Jack.
Yeah, but you know,
that's not a good idea.
You can get it under lease lend. I'm sure that's still going on. I don't know. Nick, is there anything you've seen here you think, what's that all about? Anything you don't get about England? You think
Just that chicken on top. On top of your...
a rotating chicken of mystery. A rotating chicken of mystery. Well, you shouldn't leave it so long because I'm sorry now we didn't meet up early in the trip. I'll buy you both what passes for an English breakfast after this, but you know we've still got some way to go. You're finding the food's come on though, right? I mean, they come on a lot, isn't it, in London?
The service here is so much better.
Yeah.
It's like they're trained.
Superior.
Really?
Far superior. Like they're trained to serve you.
Well,
I mean,
kind of
in
joints you've been
the
going
United
to?
States, it's like they grab them off the street and say, hey, you want to be a waitress? You got 10 minutes training.
I find the opposite. When I'm in the States, we always say, oh, look at the way they serve here. They're real professionals. And they showed you, didn't you?
See, that's just the opposite.
Well, we haven't seen that all the time. You taking home many souvenirs? Have you brought much stuff?
No, I haven't yet, but Amy's going to take us on a tour today of all the best shops.
Yeah, I'm taking my dad down Savile Row.
Oh, very good. Now
you
you're
take
talking.
me too, Amy.
Yeah.
You'll find some
go
stuff.
for Bond Street.
Yeah. Get around Bond Street. Well, thank you.
I've already been on Bond Street.
Oh, I heard about these hats you brought that gave you a heart attack when you paid for them, right?
Well, yeah, it was. I didn't expect it'd be that much, but
How much did you pay for a hat? How much for a lid for you? What did you pay?
I think it was like £350
For two hats.
for 2 hats. I mean, how could you say no? Winston Churchill bought his hats there.
Oh man, they've got you down. Two American friends, yes. Did you ask? Did you say, did Winston Churchill buy his hats here? Yes.
No,
sir.
Yes, he did. After I had the funny look, he says, "Well, you know, Winston bought his hats here."
Oh right, okay.
I mean, he had to compensate for the extra.
Oh, I wish you had come in early. Well, bless you both, and enjoy what remains of your time in this country and in this capital. That'll be.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Jack and Nicky, and thank you, of course, for your remarkable offspring.
For our beautiful daughter.
Exactly. 3 years now, joined at the hip around here, so it has been. So well done, Aim. I can see what you mean in every kind of sense, but I've got to say, I would return home. I would take you're the heir, you're the heir to the Flushing fortune. Yeah, that's and I would embrace that. Thank you very much for the gift, and that's the end of today's show. We'll be back, of course. John Gaunt in a moment. Boy, I'd like to hear you reading out John Gaunt. I'd like to hear your dad on the phone with John Gaunt. There's yes. Status, you bet. Just that kind. I've come to collect. Whoa! Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Amy. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Mountain Goat leading the 18, 19-year-olds. We'll be back in the morning, and now we're going to have an English breakfast. Away you go, the roller.